Welcome to Hindsight Hacking. I'm Corey Carter.
And I'm Ron Cool, and you are listening to Hindsight Hacking, where we have talked to hundreds of entrepreneurs hacking their hindsight to give you clearer foresight.
And now, as we still bring you the same great, amazing interviews each and every week, we are adding bits and pieces to serve you in such a great way. These bits and pieces are some mindset hacks, visibility hacks, traffic hacks, and more on the Daily Hack. So we want to make sure that you have all the tools and all the resources that you need to gain more visibility and gain more traffic.
And obviously, to get more sales. So head over to gethhm.com/toolbox to grab your free resources to get the help you need to get more.
And if you're interested, after you collect all those freebies, because they're amazing, hit the link in the show notes and jump on our calendar because we definitely want to help you.
Guys, we absolutely love the community that we've created with your guys' help, and we love all the Hindsight Hackers. So jump on in and get on our calendar.
So without further ado, what do you say? Let's get to it.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, and today we have a special treat for you. We have the one, the only Miss Amanda Holmes. So if you're wondering who Amanda is, we're going to let her explain all of that. But if it makes you feel any better, we get to talk about the Dream 100 strategy and how Amanda is actually the CEO of Chet Holmes International, basically the godfather of the Dream 100 concept. But they get to teach 12 ways to double your sales based on the Ultimate Sales Machine, voted one of the best top 10 books in sales of all time. Yes, all time. So Amanda, I am so thankful, so grateful, so blessed that you have chosen to join us today to share your message and to have a conversation with us. So thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure. I'm excited to dive in.
Oh my goodness, we are so excited to have you and just to talk all things that you are currently working on. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't you tell the audience a little bit more about you?
Okay. Well, Chet Holmes International, we've been around since 1991. That's how we've been able to assist over 250,000 businesses worldwide, and all based around, like you said, my father's book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, which purely word of mouth. I really have not done anything marketing wise over the last 8 years, and we're still selling thousands of copies a month just by people loving it and sharing it. So thank you for anybody that's watching this that has read the book or has recommended the book or given it away. Thank you. It's been such a gift.
8 years, no marketing. And that just tells you folks what a great asset that is. A lucky scenario for Ron and I. We've got our agency and we've never done ads. We've never done any kind of paid advertising in that sense, because we are all about working on the relationships and building the relationships. And then a referral comes one way and you take care of your person, and the next time a referral comes. And so that's a testament to the quality of what was put out there so long ago to allow 8 years to go by without anything. Like, that's insane. So, but tell us, you are CEO of the company now and running the day-to-day, I assume putting your own spin on some things, but tell us, like, what's your life like with being the CEO, and what's some of the fun things you got going on?
Well, I should have asked this before we started. Hindsight Hacking is mostly, do we have business owners in the crowd? Do we have marketers in the crowd?
Yeah, all about entrepreneurship, marketing, online space. We definitely are all about those folks out there. So pretty much anybody we're talking to, the Dream 100 concept is known, or they do hear it from us. So we do speak of.
We do speak of.
Okay. I even see RJ in the comments. RJ is big on Dream 100.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He was one of the first coming on the show to talk Dream 100 with us.
Yep.
Oh, all right. That's wonderful. Okay. I had never planned to be an entrepreneur in my father's business. I was a singer-songwriter. I had released my 4th record at living in LA, and my father got ill. That changed the course of my life. He ended up passing in 2012. And here I was. I inherited a couple hundred staff, all double my age. And I was shocked. I wanted nothing to do with it. It was terrifying to me. And I missed my father. I loved him very dearly. We were very close. I was born on his birthday, just to say how kismet we were. So tight. So here I am 8 years later. I stepped in as CEO after 2 years of looking and listening and asking questions. And we are thriving today. Lots of little great wins, but we doubled sales last year during COVID. That's quite a feat. And I'm just grateful to be here. And yes, things are different from what they were when I inherited the company, and I've made it my own.
That's super important that you make it your own. What's crazy, like as you guys were talking about the whole 8 years thing, I was like, gosh, could we survive 8 years without advertising? I don't know. I don't know if we could, but no, I think it's interesting that not only you were forced into this pivot, but you for all intents and purposes, you kind of took the bull by the horn and took it and ran with it. And now you've doubled your sales over previous years in a down, quote unquote, economy. That's phenomenal.
Thank you.
You know, so yeah, what do you think was like a couple of the biggest things that you were able to say, hey, this is working, this is what I want to try? Was since all these people, like I know when I was younger, I had managed people that were older than me, and sometimes they don't want to change things. Did you run into things like that, or was everyone kind of welcoming and ready to try something?
You want a
story? I don't want to say any
story.
PG version? I don't know. No, it was difficult. It was difficult. There's a lot of well, I didn't know the business at all, right? So here I am, and we're kind of looking at each other going, I don't really know what I'm doing. And they're like, we know you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, this is awkward, right? So there's some weirdness there. Yeah, and just over the years, I've had the opportunity to go in and, close some of our biggest deals that we've had, increase our marketing leads by 1,176%. Just little wins here and there, and getting my feet wet, and also the journey of really understanding what kind of an environment do I want to work in and provide for my staff was huge, because the company culture that my father had is very different from the culture that I wanted. So,
yeah. And so how's it going, right? How's this? You're now there. You're in charge. I assume people think or understand that you know what you're doing now after the time. And how is the culture? How is every aspect of it? And if you're doubling your sales and revenue, and I assume there's some longtime staff, or at least some staff that have been around now the last couple of years, like what is that culture like? And because 100%, like Ron and I, we believe, like, if the culture is right, people won't leave. I don't care what you're paying them, but if the culture is strong, you're going to have a good core group of people that can surround you with to help you grow.
Yes. I think for me, the biggest light bulb that came this last year was realizing that it wasn't the Amanda show, that it wasn't about me proving myself, because the previous years it was very much like I got competitive, and I'm like, I'm going to show you that I can close this business. I'm going to show you that I'm going to convert more than anybody that's come before. I'm going to do it all the way that I want to do it, So it was a bit of an ego drive. And this last year, I kind of settled back and just said, what can I learn from everyone? What is everyone's talents, and how can I hold them up, and, kind of put the Amanda show a bit on the back burner, And I found that we got so much more done when it was about my team versus about me.
That is huge. And as entrepreneurs out there, there's so much. I'm going to do this. I can do this. I don't want to give this up. How did you, or was there something that came to you that you're like, I have to give this up? Or did you just sit down and say, hey, I want to try something new? Was there a turning point that made you kind of turn off the ego a little bit?
I think it was just I couldn't do everything that I wanted to get accomplished. So I'm very active in a nonprofit called Divine Bliss International. And when the pandemic hit, we did a lot of work to bring people together from all walks of life. We built this whole movement that reached 19 countries of people just saying, okay, there's a lot of fear happening in the pandemic, but a very small percentage that are actually affected. What can we do to assist all those that are in fear? So we led these programs that would assist people with meditation and positive thinking, and a community of these people that believe this, everyone from China to Belgium to Australia. And I mean, it was amazing across the United States as well. So I was doing that as my passion project. And then I also had tasked my team, we need to create a micro funnel every month. So my father's book has a core competency for every chapter. There's 12 core competencies for doubling sales. And I said, okay, we got a niche to get rich, right? So let's just focus on each one of these core competencies, build out a micro funnel. And I could not run the micro funnels and do it all myself and do all the writing and the building, which normally was something that I would hold very sacred and, wouldn't let anybody else do. But I had to let go of the control to be able to do both, do what I loved, which was passion project of the nonprofit as well as CHI. So that, to carry both forward, I realized I had to let go of the control.
You look sad about letting go of the control, but my business partner over there has the same.
I knew he was going to say that. That's not very nice. Like, you mean sometimes. You just have to understand that. But.
Oh man! All right, so Amanda, tell us what is your take on the Dream 100? What is your philosophy, but behind it for yourself, and just from being next to the content so much closer than the rest of us, which we hear it in theory, right? We hear it second and third and fourth hand, right? Like you're kind of on that first level. What's your take on all of that?
Oh man, you ask me this and I know that there's so much behind this of like what you think about the Dream 100 and what works and what doesn't work. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say about that.
Oh. We will answer after.
Yes. I will give you my thoughts when you're done.
To be completely honest with you, to me, the Dream 100 is a way of life. It's not about, okay, what's the big win that I can get? What's the big client that I can put on my trophy wall? It's relationships that matter, and surrounding yourself with people that take you to a whole nother level, right? Like just a complete quantum jump. How can you make that happen? And when you do that, can you be of service? Can you be giving? Can you add value? Can you bring something to them that they never thought that they needed, or maybe they do need and you found the solution? So it's something that my father did a great job of procedurizing and making into a system that can be repeatable, right? For sales. How many times he said, let's just win big deals. That's great. But he was able to put a system to it. And as I've gone through this whole journey of assisting with Dream 100s, doing my own Dream 100s, and then now this whole building of a Dream 100 course, I'm realizing that there's a lot of things that just naturally make sense to me because I grew up with my father, doing these things. I thought, of course, that's what you do. But the world isn't like that. Actually, when I am now assisting with my sales team and it's, they're going out there and making the relationships, and maybe the first step to a sale is building rapport, and maybe they're terrible at that. And to me, it makes obvious, of course you build rapport. How do you build rapport? okay, let's do a workshop on it, right? So it's to me, it's my way of being, it's my way of life. It's surrounding myself with wonderful relationships that are meaningful. It's not about, okay, how can I get this quick win? How can I get a sale? It's building that depth and doing it with a vein of, I'm going to be of service. I'm going to give first before I receive. Because usually in a Dream 100, you're not on the top end of that echelon, right? You're trying to get up to that. So what can you give? What can you be of great value? So I don't know if that answers or if that debunks some of your ideas on Dream 100, but I will say that.
Okay. Well, no, I completely agree. Show's over. We're done now, right?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So how you explained it, I 100% agree. It's about the relationships. Our little twist on it is, instead of going after those big fish that are years in that relationship building, where most entrepreneurs, when they start, they're trying to go after these big fish that it's going to take years for you to get noticed. And we're like, what if you surround yourself with people that are just like above your level, just a little bit, help each other get up another level, then help each other again get up another level, and then sooner or later you're going to get up to that level. But more importantly, you're building lasting relationships, helping people excel in places you can't excel, and they can't excel without you. And what's also kind of cool, you become somebody else's Dream 100 in that same process, but you're surrounding yourself with people that you're building those lasting, strong relationships that, hey, we all did this together, and how cool is that? And that's kind of our take on the Dream 100, not making 100 names on a list and sending shoes to people. Like, we just never did that piece. So that's like our thing. And my wife would get mad if I said, hey, I'm going to spend $500,000 on a website to give it away. Like, she'd probably be mad at me too. So.
Yeah. So if you're unfamiliar with that story, Russell Brunson bought mastermind.com for Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, right? Like, that was kind of his process to get to do business with them. And yeah, he had the ability and the funds to be able to do that. But yeah, for us, it's all about how can we level up together with people around us. And we didn't like the fact that so many people would take a list and write 100 names. Like, just go take action, right? And so we put, like, let's get 20 names on there, and where are these 20 names, right? And if you slowly level up, you'll eventually get to the right point, because again, it's all about those relationships. And we don't want just to see somebody on the top of our list and we want them to notice us so they can be on our podcast. No, we want to ultimately grow to a point where we can serve them, and in the same way that you're talking about, right? So again, it's for us, just like you, it's all about the relationships. And we watched so many people, when we learned about the concept, that they just wouldn't take action because 100 names is scary. Writing 100 names on a list was daunting, and then they wouldn't do anything. And we're like, okay, just stop overthinking it. Put 20 names on a list, and now let's go.
Yeah. That's basically it. I mean, literally, the concept, we talked about it just over a year ago, that we kind of came up with kind of meshing it. We're like, what if there was like 4 guys that we were all talking at Funnel Hacking Live last year. And we're like, gosh, what if we were like the Rat Pack next year? Like, let's just help each other get higher in this sales thing and see what we can do. And we all kind of give each other clients. We kind of bounce things back and forth, and we work together in a really unique, cool way. And that all came from the idea of the relationship building and helping people be successful. And the other piece is, if you do things for the right way, I feel the universe will reward you however you should be rewarded if you're doing it for the right way.
100%. I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit more about the Divine Bliss International before we get into some of your like current workings. But yeah, tell us about that nonprofit.
Oh, okay. Yes. So for the last 9 years, I've studied under an Indian saint. Her formal title is Sarvalokama, Her Holiness Shri 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 1008 Guruji Punamji. It's a very long.
Yes.
Wow. One more time. One more time.
Sarvalokama, which is like Mother of the Universe.
Okay.
Her Holiness.
Okay.
Understand that one.
Yeah.
Shri Shri Shri, which means that she has conquered all levels of her conscious, her subconscious, and her superconscious.
Okay.
1008 means basically enlightenment. So the 1008 petals on your crown chakra have bloomed. Guruji, which is someone that brings you from ignorance or darkness to light. And Punamji is part of her birth given name, but I just call her Guruji.
Okay. Wow. Holy smokes. Like as you were saying that, I was like, wow, you have to practice saying that. That would be a long, hard thing. I would mess that. This is why Corey goes first in our show anyway, because he has to say all the names. I just talk and it's perfect. So, wow. Anyway, sorry.
Go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Tell us more about the Divine Bliss International and the amazing work that you're doing there.
Yeah, I originally found Guruji because I had celiacs. So the smell of pizza would make me nauseous and ill. If I ever ate it, I would have to go to the hospital. It was just a very extreme case. And even if I started to eat foods, I would become allergic to them because my stomach had holes in it, and it was just terrible. And she told me, and we went to every doctor possible in the Western Hemisphere, and nobody had a solution. They just said, don't eat wheat. And then I met her, and she said, every disease in the body is just a dis-ease of our minds. If we release them, then you can be cured of it. And I can guide you to do that. Would you like that? And I said, yes, I'll follow you across the world to do that, of course. Yeah. And she had a healing center at that time in Singapore, which is still there. And so I went there, and over 6 weeks, I went through a program of just, healthy eating, workshops to understand what was going on in my mind, being in this very high vibration space. And I walked out 6 weeks later, cured of celiacs. Wow. It was unbelievable. And I thought, why doesn't the whole world have something like this? So when I got back to the United States, I was lucky enough to be a part of the creation of the center that she has in Florida. And I've lived on and off there in Florida over the years. And it's really been my safe haven for all of the craziness that happened with my father and the business. And the reason why CHI is here today is because of that self-mastery that I really studied with her, of overcoming the limiting beliefs and overcoming. I was even just thinking about this today, or the last few days, all of these people that think, oh, I want to go after my dream one. Let's even say it's a dream one, but they're too afraid to even attempt it. It's that limiting stuff that holds us back. And I thought, well, I do have kind of a couple of different exercises that I've learned from my guru that I could probably assist people with and give them, so that when you're feeling in fear, how do you overcome that, right? Like something just simple and easy and done. So I'm thinking that I might add that into the Dream 100 course.
Oh my gosh, that would be one. That would be epic, because you're talking, the biggest thing that holds people back is a limited belief, right? But you've taken that to another level where you're curing yourself through your belief. Yeah. That's huge.
My mind is a little bit blown on that. That's even a possibility that you can cure celiacs through that. Oh my gosh. It's
the way that she describes it is, imagine that so we're actually made out of sound. So science has proven that we're just matter, sound waves moving at a very fast pace, right? So if every thought we think and every thing we voice becomes like a frequency that emits from us, like how people say, you have a great vibe. They're actually referencing our vibrational frequency. So of everything we think and all of the things we speak and of the places that surround us, we have this vibration that's emitting around us, an electromagnetic field. So every negative thought we think, it gets, they clump together in this electromagnetic field, and then they get absorbed by the body. And that's what creates dis-ease. So she teaches these methods around how to actually clear away those frequencies before they even enter the body. I mean, I was telling my doctor that I knew I had a hormonal imbalance. And she looks at me and she goes, "That's impossible. You can't know that you have a hormonal imbalance." I'm like, "Of course I can. I've been treating it for weeks. What are you talking about?" She's
Right.
like, "I read it in your blood." I'm like, I knew far beyond that. I could feel when it started to onset. I knew, okay, this is an issue that's coming up for me and I need to solve it and I need to work through it. So that process is so lost today. It's outsourced to Google and WebMD, and even, a doctor says this is what you need to do, and so you think that that's what you need to do. But from watching my father, battle for his life with leukemia for a year and a half, I know that there's a lot that needs to be done for us to understand ourselves and to live healthier lives. And for me, that then gets completely translated to the business, right? So the more that you feel whole and complete and balanced, the better your whole business will be, the better your staff will be, because you're upholding that and you're assisting others to do that. So I didn't think I would go here, but here
No, but this is so good.
Right.
This is exactly why we don't script our show, because we never would have learned about this. And this is fascinating, like literally fascinating, because if you can put together the vibrational piece with the limited beliefs on top of the Dream 100, oh, that's just pure power. I mean, RJ's like, absolutely limiting beliefs is the obstacle in Dream 100. Like you found a huge hole that you know how to fix, and it just blows me away. But I've been learning about vibrations and frequencies because I have no clue why, but it's just been in my face a lot over the last probably 2 months. And so it's funny that you bring that up, because I've said with Corey and my wife, like, I will start seeing things that of the direction I'm supposed to go. That's like God saying, "Hey, this is the direction you have to go that way." So it's hilarious that you brought that up. So frequency, I have a question around that. Yeah. So this is something that I've been seeing where if you play a certain frequency, it will help bring good things to you and negate some of the negative stuff. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
I'm trying to think how I'm going to reply to this. So we did every kind of alternative when my father first was diagnosed. And one of them was vibrational frequencies, where my father would listen on earplugs and we would watch. He would do his blood work. He'd listen to whatever one needed work, like your pancreas is too high, listen to this frequency. He would listen to the frequency. He would come back and do another blood test, and the pancreas would be lower. Like,
no way.
It was quite remarkable. But it's hard to be exact, and you really need somebody that's a true expert at frequencies to be able to diagnose that correctly. So it's hard for me to say, yes, go out and do the frequency.
Right. No. But I think it's huge that.
But I will tell you, so being a singer-songwriter in a previous life, music was my everything. And I went through this phase, and I'm still there, where modern music was just so full of pain and depression and anger and angst. And to raise my frequency, I didn't want to cloud my vibration with their problems. I have enough of my own problems. I don't need their problems too, Right. So I started listening to these Sanskrit chants and it's the same thing with classical music as well. It sends out a frequency. You listen to classical music and it has beautiful emotions in it, but it's nobody speaking them out saying, I'm feeling really lonely today. I'm feeling really angry today. It's so overwhelming, the amount of noise we hear. But with classical music or a Sanskrit chant, or, I know Sanskrit chants, it helps to just cleanse and clear that vibration. And that's a lot more elevating than I've seen a lot more results from that and playing that. Like even while I'm working, I will play the Gayatri mantra because I know that it's just so wholesome and positive and lifts me up in every way, in a balanced kind of way. I've also taught like ones in English, even like a mantra like, I'm happy, I love myself, my body's full of love and light. And just like repeating that over and over again. Like it could just be something positive. Like what a completely different concept. Like let's just listen to things that are positive. What?
Yes. Oh, so I've really dived in and dug into my morning routines, and part of it includes like 10 minutes or so of meditation every day. But my favorite ones that I do and follow are the ones when it's all about the gratitude. It's all about that positive thinking. It's all about the positive affirmations and stuff like that. Like I know every single time I have one of those in the morning, I walk away so much different than I would without, or than I would with just a normal like deep thought type meditation. It's or whatever, in the clearing, right? Like when I'm repeating those positive things and stuff, my energy level is just so much better to go and tackle the day. And so my last question before we officially talk about the awesome course, the Dream 100 course, but my last question for you is in regards to hindsight, the process that you had to go through from the singer-songwriter to CEO. What do you wish you would have figured out sooner? What do you wish you would have accomplished sooner versus how it happened? And again, our goal of this show is to give our listeners better hindsight based on our experts, give our listeners better foresight based on our experts' hindsight. And so what do you say to those that are making some kind of transition like that?
It's okay to have questions. And so much of our society teaches that you need to have all the answers and you need to speak and have this whole presentation about you. What's more powerful to me is, can you ask the right questions? Can you listen to the answers? Can you hear the people around you because you're quiet enough to hear them? I think that is something that is way undervalued today in all of the noise and all of the, rubble. You have to really search to find somebody that's speaking something of substance or value. So I have a long ways to go, but one of my goals is, to really be in that place where I release all necessity to ever speak and only speak when it's truly important. That's to me, that's important.
Love it.
I was always known as the person that would talk first. And then I had to stop. And literally the only way I can get out of that in a group setting was I had to bite my lip. I literally had to bite my lip. And then luckily someone else was hired after me that would always speak before me. So it was perfect. I didn't even have to worry about it. But I would love to kind of get into this course you're making now and made. Or yeah, you've already made. So tell us a little bit about that now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you've spent some time on Clubhouse. Have you guys?
A little bit. Oh yeah. Yes.
So I was jumping into these rooms and I found that the Dream 100 was being talked about all over the place. And I had, to be honest, I really hadn't realized how much it had permeated our whole world, right? It's just now everyone knows the Dream 100. It's like a common word.
Yeah.
Right. So I hadn't really realized the depth of that. Silly me. And being in Clubhouse and hearing how people were deploying it, and just to your point exactly of, yeah, I Dream 100 at this person and they took a picture of the thing that I sent them. Like, Dream 100.
And?
Wait a second.
And now what?
Wait a minute. Right. I'm not exactly sure you understand the point of this concept.
Right.
So I started realizing that amidst the the popularity, it had lost its point. I mean, my father taught it as the fastest, least expensive way to double sales. So if it's not doubling your sales, there's something missing there, right? So, yeah. So then I went on this binge where I thought, okay, maybe I'll do a course. So I started posting on social saying, oh, I'm doing a Dream 100 course. And I'd never seen this response in my entire, in my entire life, where people were like knocking down my door, like, I need that course. Do you have the course yet? Are you done with it? Like, I just started a week ago.
I want the course.
I'm sorry. Like, people were calling, and I'm not talking like little people. I'm talking, 8-figure business owners, 9-figure business owners. They're like, when you having it? I'm ready for it. I need that. I'm like, this is bizarre. I mean, what is happening? So what started off as like a little pet project turned into this whole all-encompassing, love and passion to create something that was really step by step. So I took parts of what my father had created, which is just brilliant, of his, getting 60 of the Fortune 500 as clients. He cold called his way all the way through there. He did it all and proved the Dream 100 concept. He was the creator of it, right? So then I took, okay, what if people now adapted to that? So I was getting on Clubhouse rooms and asking people as well. I did a bunch of just research of collecting our clients, our coaches, my executives, myself. How can you use Dream 100 with press to get attention? Because I was reporting for Entrepreneur for a number of years. It reached 17 million people, and I will tell you, not one executive ever told me no to get an appointment. Right? But I'd be interviewing them for millions of people. And then that created that relationship to get them as clients, right? So there's a lot of different hacks. I also tell the story of how to convert 7 times more business using social selling. And I talk about a story of me winning Dave Woodward's business and some Instagram hacks, which was pretty hilarious. Because you have to keep it entertaining. Of course, Dream 100 dies very quickly if you're not entertained.
Right.
So the whole course is just step by step, everything you need to know to land your biggest clients, to land your biggest affiliates, to land your neighborhood that has your biggest, if you're B2C as well. So what is the messaging? How many times do you reach out to them? How does that look today? What can you do with Facebook? What can you do with LinkedIn? What can you do with being a strategist versus a tactician? And that's what the course is and what it's created.
Awesome. And then future is the mindset, right? Future is the limiting beliefs part added to it, right?
I do think like a Dream 100 album is like in the works. I wrote a song while I was in Puerto Rico. Yeah. During my Dream 100 launch, one of the best converting things that happened for me is when was the last time you went through your address book and just went one after another, looking at every person that you have in your address book and saying, I'm going to reach out to every person. It took me 3 days, 8 hours a day. I was just sitting there texting every person. And I looked at my phone. I went, John Lee Dumas. I have John Lee Dumas's number. Oh my gosh. So I texted him. I'm like, how you doing, John? What's going on? And he was launching a book. And I was like, oh, well, I'll interview you to launch your book. That would be great. And he's like, wonderful. Well, if you come to Puerto Rico, we could do it at my place. And I said, that sounds lovely. 24 hours later, I booked my flight. 3 days later, after my COVID test, I was there in Puerto Rico. 2 days after that, I was at his home in Puerto Rico filming that, and which was awesome. It's a beautiful place. I really have debated moving there since. But while I was there, I wrote this song that I think could be a track for the Dream 100 album.
Wow, that's super cool.
So we're gonna turn your Dream 100 course with the album into like this private podcast for people that buy it, and then they can get the whole thing on audio.
Right.
And there we go. Next step, next evolution.
Yes.
All right. So if I were to buy the Dream 100 course, what's it gonna set me back, and how quickly can I go through it? Or do I need to do it like step 1, go execute, and it's going to take you a week? Like what's kind of the thought and process of that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 13 modules. And I think that it would be best if you go through it as you're doing it, right? So the first one is understanding the Dream 100, then the 10 steps to deploying a Dream 100. So you know step by step, oh, that's why that never worked because I forgot step 4, or I forgot step 7, or and then breaking down into messaging, right? So you're creating your you're creating your Dream 10, 15, 50, whatever that is. It's meant for you to be going through it as you're doing it. Because if you just watch it, that's kind of lame.
Well, no, and what's cool is you made it a course that it's interactive. You do things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like stopgate. You finish this, now you do this. And I think you can't gloss over that, right? So I think that's cool.
I kind of harass you. I will forewarn you. I'm sitting there, I'm like, do it. Like there's points where I'm just like, please. I'm
Nice.
People that are like on board with it are like, why are you being so intense, Amanda? Calm down. But I just know from experience, right, that some people just watch it and that's it. But even if you watch the whole thing and you picked up one gem that landed you a great client, it's easily worth it. It's
Right.
457 right now. It's like if you got one client, I would hope that it's a big client that's worth more than 497 to you. So it's a pretty it's a pretty small offer.
Love it. Everyone
will be there.
Run to thedream100.com and pick it up and get harassed by Amanda so that way you can execute. So Ron and I are all about that. Ron and I, we have a podcast course and we give people only a week at a time. We don't even give them all the modules.
Oh, okay.
And so if they, once we get to week 2, if they haven't done week 1, they don't get week 3. And then we put a little lock on it. And we're like, hey, when you're ready, you're going to do this.
Yeah, because here's the reason. All of our stuff is a done for you thing, right? So all of our stuff like really gets knocked in on week 3. And if you haven't done weeks 1 and 2 and you're not committed to actually doing what you say you're going to do, we're going to lock it. We're going to talk to you about it, but here's the commitment. You've committed to do something. We are just as committed to you doing what you said you were going to do. And this is just another way to kind of, let's go, right? We'll give it to you, but now it's where the rubber meets the road and you got to run. So let's get going. So I love that you're harassing people because there's so many courses out there and we didn't want a course. And it sounds like you didn't want this course where people would buy it and it just didn't do anything. It just sat there and collected dust. Then that does no good for anybody.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, that'd be such a waste of time.
Right? Right.
But there's so many out there. Like, and Ron and I were guilty. We've bought in a course and it just sat there and collected dust. And so, but if you have the right reasons to take it a step and take action, take a step, do some training, take action, do some training, take action. And, if you can go and get at least one client and, make your money back, like, come on, take action to do that. And we're all for that. So, but also at chetholmes.com, it talks about a bunch of mini courses. Tell us about some of those things that you got going on.
Like I said, we niched down every chapter of the book and just gave small trainings on how to hire sales superstars. Maybe you've gritted your way to $1 million in sales and you're the only, sales superstar in your company. And now you need to start hiring. Or maybe you have a team and they're all C players and you really want an A player. So how to identify those sales superstars, how to write the right ad to attract them, all of these. One is around sales superstars. Another one is from 0 to 100 million and beyond, because we teach every day how to get more leads in the door. Let's say you get 9 times more leads. How do you handle the amount of sales that come after that? So there's a lot of steps on the 3 Ps, how to procedurize and grow so that you can go beyond just yourself. And management secrets of billionaires. I mean, we have multiple of them. They're all there.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Love it.
gonna have to go. I'm gonna be busy the rest of the afternoon, Corey. Just
I know. You just ruined Ron's weekend. He's going to be diving in, I think.
usually what happens, but no, I am so grateful and honored you came on the show today, and we're like, I had no idea that the show was going to go the direction it went, but I'm so happy it did. And I know someone out there is like jumping at the gates to connect with you. What's the best place for them to connect with you and get involved in everything you're doing?
Well, I would say if they want a free gift, howtodoublesales.com is a great free gift. It goes into our 3 ways to double sales. So 3 free videos, howtodoublesales.com. That's great. And then if they want to connect with me personally, I'm mostly on Instagram. And because Amanda Holmes was taken, my salsa name got replaced. So I am Amandita Holmes on Instagram. Yes. Yeah.
Amandita Holmes. Perfect. All right, Amanda, this has been a blast. And I really, truly appreciate you coming on. And one thing we almost talked about, but as the whole mindset, the limiting beliefs, like nobody calls it out in their courses, but it is part of every single program. It is part of every single course, every single coaching program. Like it is part of it. And I love that you were able to talk about like how serious you took that step in your life, which allowed you to heal yourself from a disease that I like. It still blows my mind that you were able to do that. And so people out there listening or watching, come on, you got to take this stuff seriously. The mindset, the limiting beliefs, the meditation, the positive energy, the vibes, like got to take that seriously. And if you listen to Amanda, you'll be able to follow that path.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda.
All right.
Bye. Whew.
All right, Ron, I know I had a blast the last 45 minutes. I sure hope you did too. And you have a couple of takeaways for us.
I do. And I will tell you that I'm with you. It actually blows my mind. The whole limited belief in healing yourself. Like that's unreal. I mean, that's so cool. So, wow. All right. I'm going to go after the first one. Dream 100. It's about relationships. It's not a sales thing. Build the relationships, help each other be successful. Right. But don't forget it's the relationship and nurturing it. And it's not just a checklist. Right. Gosh, let's see. And the other one I thought that was powerful was her comment around hindsight. It's okay if you have questions. You don't need to know everything, but be okay asking the questions. Just be careful who you ask the questions to.
Yeah. That was my biggest thing. Like, it's okay to have the questions, knowing that, and then don't be like me where you don't ask directions. Like, ask the directions, right? Like, go and get where you need. I think that's why that stuck with me. But also to add to the Dream 100 and the relationships, like it is the way of life. If you're a business owner and you're not fostering the relationships, then you're missing the boat, right? Like, don't be transactional, be transformational, and foster and nurture and build on these relationships. And you may dream 100 and write a list and figure out exactly who you want to talk to in the future, but it cannot be for a one-time transaction for it to actually mean anything. So it's got to all be a way of life. And so I know that that's how you and I take it, and it's all about the relationships. So I love that. Amanda, you're the best. Appreciate everything of you coming on here. So, and anybody, thedream100.com, head there, go fast, get the course while it's still so cheap. Or if you're not ready to pay anything, head to howtodoublesales.com and grab your free training.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't already gone there, like get there now. So thank you for spending time with us today, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And you know what? If you're not already a member of our Facebook group, what are you waiting for? Head on over facebook.com/groups/profits with.
Guys, we are super excited to have you be a part of our community and help you get more visible, get more traffic, and get more sales.
That's right, Ron. And every time someone is in our group, we get to share all the tips, the tricks, and everything that you can get profits with from your summits, your challenges, your workshops, your podcast, your vodcast, and so much more.
Guys, thanks for being the best part of the Hindsight